All right, guys. So in today's class, we are going to just get a quick recap of critical path analysis, a topic of your A2 business from operations strategy chapter. So let's just talk about the project, what is a project, and how a business manages its project. So usually operational planning is very necessary for the businesses because they need to use their resources efficiently and they need to complete the activities on time. And for that, business uses project management techniques in order to complete the projects on time. So, a project can be defined as a series of activities that have a start and an end date, a budget, and an objective to achieve. For example, a construction business gets a project of building a house. So, they have a project that they need to complete. So, the operations manager has to manage such projects and complete it on time. And therefore, they use the project management technique, which is known as critical path analysis. Here are some examples of what types of project a business usually has in like converting a new machinery or introducing a new software in the business, business moving into new location and setting up factories, or business getting some new orders. So all the projects need to be completed on time by using the project management technique that is known as critical path analysis. So critical path analysis is a project management technique that allows operations manager to identify the critical path. Now, what is actually a critical path? A critical path is the series of activities that are important in a project. And if they are delayed, the whole duration of the project will be delayed or declined, which means that a critical path is a set of the most important activities in a project, those activities which cannot be delayed. Because if they are delayed, then the whole project will decline. So, in the project management technique, we make a network diagram. The network diagram is made by using a node and arrow. A node is basically a circle which is divided in three parts, and an activity is shown by an arrow, which is on which we write the name of activity above and the duration of the activity below. So here there's a small example of how the node looks like and how the activity will look like. Now moving on to a question to solve and see how this network diagram can be created and what all things do we do in critical path analysis technique. So over here, there's a question. A company has the following project. So there are a set of activities, activity A, B, C, D, E. There's a duration of these activities, 5 days, 3 days, 4 days, 6 days, 3 days. And there are preceding activities. And what is preceding activity? These are the activities that need to be ended. Only then this activity will start. For example, to start activity B, we have to end activity A. To start activity C, we have to end activity B. Whereas activity A does not have any preceding activity. And over here I've written that an activity with no preceding activity will always start from the first node. So any activity that does not have any preceding activity, it will always be starting from the first node. So let's solve this question and see how our CP diagram looks like. So first of all, a CPA diagram is made by nodes and arrows. So first of all, you have to draw a node. This is your starting node. And basically in this node, we are going to divide this node into three parts. Over here, we are going to write the node number. That is node number 1. And in the next two columns, I'll just let you know what all things we are going to write. So first things first, we have to draw a starting node. Moving on to activity A, we have to start it from node number 1 because it does not have any preceding activity. So I'll be starting activity A So over here, I'll start my activity A. I like A, and the duration of this activity is 5 days. So I'm going to write 5 days. Now moving on to activity B. Activity B has duration of 3 days, and the preceding activity of activity A is B. So over here, we are going to end activity A. So activity A will be ended. We are going to divide this into 3 parts. This is node number 2. And we are going to start activity B that has a duration of 3 days. Here is your 3 days. Now, activity C has to be started because that's the next activity. And it will only start when B will be ended. So to end activity B, we have to make an ending node of this activity. So here is an ending node of this activity B. So this is the ending node of activity B. So your node number 3. And from here, we're going to start activity C that has a duration of 4 days. Then activity D should be started when activity C will be ending. So to end activity C, we are going to make another node over here to end activity C. So to start an activity, you will always make a node, and to end an activity, you will always make a node. So that is the rule that you have to remember, that to start an activity, we have to make a node, and to end an activity, we have to make a node. And over here, we start activity D with a duration of 6 days. So this is 6 days. And after that, we have an activity E, which has to be started after ending activity D. So now we are going to end activity E, sorry, activity D and start activity E. So over here, we are going to end activity D by making a node. So this is our node number 5. And over here, we are going to start activity E, node number 5. And from here, we are going to start activity E, which has a duration of 3 days. Now, after activity E, there are no other activities. So activity E is considered to be the final activity, the last activity of this project. And after this, there will be no other activity. So now, when there will be no other activity after E, we have to end activity E as well. We have to end activity E as well because it is the final activity and it will end the project. So we are going to make another node over here, which will be the final node to end our project. That is ending our project. So here we have the final node. This is your node number 6. And here our project is ended. So this is how a simple CP diagram can be created by using the nodes and the arrow. Now, I'm going to tell you guys about this and this space. What are we going to write over here? So in the upper half of this node, we are going to write EST. What is EST? EST stands for earliest start time. Whereas in this lower other half of the node, we are going to write LFT, which is the latest finish time. So earliest start time and latest finish time. What do these things mean? Earliest start time tells when the activity will start, like after how many days the activity will start. And LFT tells us about when the activity will end. So these are the two calculations that we have to do in the CP diagram. And the calculations are very easy. So now in node number one, as we started off, so first thing that we are going to calculate is EST, because we have to calculate all the start times of the activities. And then we are going to calculate the finish time of the activities. Now, first thing is to calculate the EST. Now, to calculate EST, the things that you have to keep in mind, first thing is that the EST in node number one will always be 0. The EST in node number one will always be 0. Now, we are going to calculate the EST at node number 2. So what we are going to simply do is 0 plus 5. We're going to add the duration in EST. So the things that you have to remember while calculating EST is, first thing, you have to go from left to right. That means you have to start from node 1 and end till the final node. And it is the addition of durations to EST. For example, node number 1 has 0 plus 5. So over here we'll take 5 plus 3 will give us 8 plus 4 will give us 12 plus 6 will give us 18 and plus 3 will give us 19, 20 and 21. So these are the EST of each and every node that we have calculated by adding the duration. And now we are going to calculate LFT. Now to calculate LFT, we are going to go from right to left. That means from the final node to the first node. And we are going to subtract the durations. Now over here, we need to have the the LFT of the last node. So always remember, guys, that the LFT of the last node is same as the EST of the last node, because after this there is no activity. So this is not actually the end, the starting time. This is the ending time of the whole project. So the ending time of the whole project is your LFT. So in the last node, your EST is same as the LFT. Now we are going to subtract. So 21 minus 3 is 18. Now one more thing that you have to do while you're calculating LFT is you have to see that when you're coming back from the route which is giving you same LFT as EST, like I came from route E. So this route is giving me 18, which is equal to my EST. So what I have to simply do is I have to mark this activity. Why do we have to mark this activity? I will tell you later on. Now let's go back. 18 minus 6, 12. Is the answer same? Yes. And from which route did you get this answer? From route D. So we are going to mark this activity like this. Now, from 12, node number 4 to node number 3, we have to move. So 12 minus 4 is 8. Is the answer same? Of course it is. So we are going to mark the activity. Then from node number 3 to node number 2, 8 minus 3 is 5. The answer is same. So we are going to mark this activity. And from node number 2 to node number 1, 5 minus 5 is 0. The answer is same. And we are going to mark this activity. So now why did we mark the activities? These activities that we marked are our critical activities. These activities are the critical path of the whole project. That is A, B, C, D, and E. This is the critical path of the whole project, which means that these activities cannot be delayed. All the activities in this project are critical, and not a single activity can be delayed. So, this is how a manager identifies the critical path in a project. So, this is how we make critical path and calculate the critical path in each project so that the activities are not delayed and the project is completed on time. So this is how a simple CPA is made. And in the next video, we are going to draw more complex CPA diagrams and calculate the EST LFT of the project. I hope you guys like this video, a simple explanation of critical path analysis. Thank you.